welcome back to News to Astonish, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. My name is Ronnie, and here to talk to you all today about Chris Hemsworth and his passion for wanting to continue to play Thor after Avengers Endgame. There is quite a bit to discuss, including his future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This shouldn't really come as a shock to you because Chris Hemsworth has made it clear that he wants to continue to play Thor. Ever since Thor Ragnarok, directed by Taika Waititi, his enthusiasm for playing the character has been uplifting for him, and he's felt hopeful for the character's future. But before I get into that even more, I've noticed that 44% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. So I want you all to click on that subscribe button. I post videos daily, and I do live streams about 5 nights a week starting around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, United States. At least there's that assurance that you'll never be deprived of content because there's literally hundreds of hours of content on my channel to binge on. There are exceptions that I'll make for live streams, and I always keep my viewers posted if there are any delays or live streams cancellations via my YouTube community tabs and Discord. The invitation link to my Discord is down in the description box below. Click on that as well. You'll be able to chat with plenty of cool people who are into geek culture like myself and everyone else who watches my videos. And with all that being said, let's get back into the news. So I came across this article literally yesterday when reading comic book related news, and I thought this was really interesting because me being a fan of these films, I always wonder in the back of my mind how long an actor can go on to portray the same character. So I'll read you this article from Superhero Hype and we can discuss afterwards, maybe even speculate what will happen to Thor and so on. So if we go here to Superhero Hype, it says that Thor Love and Thunder won't be Chris Hemsworth's last Marvel movie. So after Avengers Endgame, Chris Hemsworth is the last original leading actor still standing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, I actually would disagree with that because Mark Ruffalo is also an original one. He's still playing the Hulk in the Marvel films, but I digress. Anyways, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans may be gone, but Hemsworth isn't in a hurry to follow them about the door. Via Coming Soon, Hemsworth recently spoke with Elle Mann about his upcoming projects. When asked if Thor Love and Thunder would be his final MCU appearance as Thor, Hemsworth was incredulous at the idea. And he responded with, "Are you crazy? I'm not going into retirement, period." Laughs, said Hemsworth. "Thor is way too young for that. I'm only 1,500 years old." I mean, that's how old the character was. He explained that in Infinity War, if you all recall that. It is definitely not a film that I say goodbye to this brand. At least, I hope so. For Love and Thunder, Hemsworth is reuniting with Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi. During the Ellen Mann interview, Hemsworth shared his feelings about Waititi's newest script. "After reading the script, I can say that I am very excited," exclaimed Hemsworth. "For sure, there will be a lot of love and a lot of lightning in this production." And he laughs, so I'm laughing for him. "I'm glad that after all that happened in Avengers Endgame, I'm still part of the Marvel Universe and we can continue the story of Thor. Of course, I can't tell you anything about the plot, but to satisfy your curiosity, I'll say that I had a lot more fun reading the script than on Thor Ragnarok, and that proves something because this movie was brilliant." Hemsworth co-star Natalie Portman recently revealed Thor Love and Thunder will film early next year. The film will hit theaters on February 11th, 2022. Are you glad to hear that Thor Love and Thunder won't be Chris Hemsworth's last MCU movie? You let me know down in the comment section below. So it's really interesting. I'm actually, this makes me excited internally because a lot of actors go on to portray like a superhero or a very popular character in comic books or in culture in general. And then once they're done, they go on and move on to other projects and other things. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm like thinking like, wow, I had wished that actor played the character even longer, or if not, maybe forever until like the day he dies. But that's not really possible for anybody because, characters are like immortal in the comics. I mean, very often times characters would die and they just miraculously come out of nowhere and they'll just come back to life and back into the action. And readers can enjoy them, but they often come back from different writers and different illustrators, and it can be either a hit and miss. As far as the next Thor being played by Natalie Portman, I'm actually kind of curious to see how that goes now that there's going to be 2 Thors. Whoever takes on the mantle of Thor, or I guess wields the hammer Mjolnir, shall become Thor as well. But Thor in the film is also named Thor. I mean, he's a Thor, but his name is actually Thor. But Thor is a mantle. It's not exactly gender based, so anybody can become Thor. So when Natalie Portman transforms into Thor when wielding Mjolnir, she will have that appearance of like a god. Now, I'm not sure if they're gonna do the cancer story that they did in the comics, where Jane Foster had cancer, but whenever she became Thor, and then she would change back into her regular form, the cancer would kill her a little bit more. So I'm only curious to see if they're gonna do that storyline in the movie. But a good thing is that the comics themselves are actually not that bad. If you read The Mighty Thor from like #1 all the way to 706, it was a run that took off back in 2015. It actually gained a lot of positive reviews. It even sold like 30% more than the original run of Thor when there was the male Thor. I personally own a few of these comics. I'm only here now on the Marvel Universe website where I can actually read my comics now, because I have not been able to buy comics, but I've been able to read through and scour through the Marvel Universe website and still read comics and still try to keep up to date with some comics. I have not been on there for quite some time, but if they're gonna do an adaptation of the female Thor, I'm willing to bet that they're gonna adapt a few of these comics of recent. I mean, they're only 5 years old, so there's no other story that they can probably borrow from aside from this, or unless if Marvel wants to go on their own route and just create their own female Thor story, then by all means go ahead and do so. Again, about the whole cancer storyline where Jane Foster, I keep saying Natalie Portman, my apologies, where Jane Foster develops, gets cancer. I'm not sure if they're going to go with that route. They might take it into a different direction, but if they do go with the cancer route, I mean, I think it would add some sort of an element to the narrative where there'd be a lot of sadness, and I like movies that can evoke emotions in the audience. That's just me personally. I mean, the more emotions there is in a film, the better, personally. But if they're not gonna do it, I'm curious of how they're going about doing that, where they're gonna have 2 Thors in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't know how people would feel. Personally, for me, I mean, it wouldn't bother me. The more Thors we have, the better. The more gods we have, the better there is, to having better fights and better fight sequences in the films. But you let me know your thoughts. What story route do you want the Marvel Cinematic Universe to go in? And what other possible stories could there be for Thor now, knowing that there's going to be a female Thor taking on the mantle, wielding Mjolnir? And if you want to see Chris Hemsworth return for more Marvel movies, which movies would you like to see him return? I mean, personally, for me, I'd love to see him in the third Guardians of the Galaxy film. I have no doubt that Thor would return at some point, and maybe like the soonest we'd see him would be the third Guardians of the Galaxy film. If you all recall, in Avengers Endgame, towards the end, Thor took off with the rest of the Guardians in his ship, and he made that joke about the Guardians of the Galaxy, which actually, believe it or not, is kind of like a reference to the comics. There is a comic called Guardians of the Galaxy. It's an actual comic, Guardians of the Galaxy. So I thought that was pretty cool, and if this does come to fruition in the films, we would see this roster right here. I mean, you have the Destroyer, you have Thor, and you even have Valkyrie in the team, and I just want to see what direction they are willing to take with that as well. So yeah, Chris Hemsworth is not leaving the Thor character anytime soon. This is really exciting news. You let me know your thoughts, speculate. I want to know, what do you think of what stories and what direction they're going to go ahead and take with the Thor character, and where would you like to see him appear next? Now, as far as that goes, I think the major big film of the Marvel Cinematic Universe should be Secret Wars. Maybe they might call it the Avengers Secret Wars, but I actually like it to be a simple title and just call it Secret Wars. And I'm actually willing to bet that it's going to be like maybe a 4-part or a 5-part story, because the Secret Wars storyline is a really, really big story, and it has a lot of issues. There's even like subplot issues where the storyline follows individual characters and you get to see their point of view. But aside from that, I would like to see Thor at least appear within the next Guardians of the Galaxy film. Maybe not play a major integral role in that film, but perhaps like an extended cameo where like he joins the Guardians on a mission and then he takes off and goes on to do his own thing. So guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. Comment down below, share this video if you wish, and don't forget to join my Discord. Invitation link is down in the description box below once again. And once again, guys, take care. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.